What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nasha, welcome back to the channel, and for today's Yu-Gi-Oh news video, it's all about the new cards in Dimension 4. So not only do we have a little bit of new psychic support, but we have new support from the said grand creators. We have a brand new Link monster, new, I guess, Yuri support, I guess you could say new Predaplant support, new weather painter support, and some new cards as well. It is going to be insane. I will try to get through as much of it as I can, and we even also have, and this will be the first thing that I'm going to talk about for today's video, the Battle of Chaos premiere promo. This is coming out of the TCG, but before we get started, simple reminder, guys, later today at around noon. Later today at around noon, I'm going to be posting on my Instagram story a Q&A box for you guys to submit your questions, because tomorrow, right after I do the WWE Day 1 predictions, I will be doing a end of the year Q&A. So if you guys, I'm sure you guys have questions for me, so if you guys have any questions that you want to ask me for tomorrow's video, you can always drop them in the comments below, or follow me on Instagram and submit your questions there, and I will try to get through as much of them as I can. So do not forget, later today at noon, I will be posting the Q&A box on my Instagram story, so you can submit your questions there, or in the comments for tomorrow's Q&A video. But with that being said, let's take a look at the Battle of Chaos premiere promo. This is actually an article that I've had for quite a while. Actually, I never got around to talking about this card, only because there was a lot of other things that I was talking about on the channel in the last couple weeks. So the premiere promo is called Libromancer Geek Boy. Yes, that is the name. I don't even believe it myself. It's a 3-star wind psychic with 800 attack and defense, and its effect reads: you can reveal one ritual monster in your hand, special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can add one Libromancer spell from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. So not only does it have a Cyber Dragon effect, but it's also basically Spell and Trap Roto, which is not too bad. It can work with rituals. So I assume Drytrons could use this card. Maybe even also what do you call it? Necros, potentially could also use it as well, which is not too bad. Now for the new cards in Dimension Force, and this is going to be a hell of a video. So I will try to get through as much of it as I can. Hopefully, I can get to all of them today. If not, I can always do them on. I can always talk about the rest on Saturday or Sunday. I'll let you guys know on my second Twitter, which you guys can follow me there. Link is in the description. But next up, the first card up, we have Psychic End Punisher. It's an 11-star light psychic synchro with 3,500 attack and defense, and requires a tuner and a non-tuner, so pretty generic. And it has 3 effects. First effect reads: while your life points are equal to or less than your opponent's, this synchro summon card is unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. So it's basically a protection. It's not too bad. Basically, your opponent cannot target this card with effects, which is not too bad. At the same time, on the resolution of the summon, you could just easily use a card like Imperman. That's that, which is pretty crazy. Let's see. Second effect says, once per turn, you can pay 1,000 life points to target a monster you control, and a card on your opponent's field, and a card your opponent controls, sorry, banish those targets. Nice, nice. So you can not only can you bottomless one of your monsters, you can also Cosmic Cyclone your opponent's back row as well, which is not too bad, not too shabby. And then the third effect reads, at the start of the battle phase, you can make this card gain attack equal to the difference between both players' life points. So it's basically an effect similar to Air Neos in a way, which is actually pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And apparently in the OCG is going to be the I guess the holographic rare, or I guess the ghost rare, if you will. Now for some support from Grand Creators. If you guys remember that set, it's crazy, pretty crazy. First up, we have Illegal Knight. I don't know if they're gonna name. I don't know if that's gonna be the official TCG name, but that's actually kind of funny. It's a 7-star Dark Fiend with 2,000 attack and defense, and both of its effects are once per turn. During the main phase, if you control no monsters, or you control Adventurer token, sorry. As a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you control Adventurer token as a quick effect, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls, give control of this card to your opponent, and if you do, return those cards to the hand. So not only is this a Cyber Dragon, but it's also a reverse Snatch Steal double compulse. So what I mean by reverse Snatch Steal is instead of taking instead of taking the monster, you're actually giving the monster to your opponent. And double compulse meaning you're literally compulsing two of your opponent's cards back to the hand, which is pretty cool. It's not too bad. It's not too bad of an effect, but the fact that you have to have an as it says an adventurer token, it speaks volumes. It speaks volume of what the card does, of how the card operates, to be honest. Next up, we have Exorcisters Magnifica. I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's a rank 8 Light Warrior Xyz with 2,800 attack and defense, and of course 2 rank 4 Exorcist or Xyz monsters. Must be Xyz summoned with the above materials. And it actually has 3 effects. First effect reads, this card can make a second attack during each battle phase. So it's basically Cyber Twin Dragon, which is pretty cool. And, I mean, 2,850, seriously, 5,600? That's a lot of damage to your opponent. That's Cyber Twin Dragon for you. Second effect says, once per turn, as a quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, banish a card your opponent controls. Again, Cosmic Cyclone, or Bottomless Trap Hole. Not too bad. Not too bad of an effect. When your opponent activates a card or effect, as a quick effect, you can return 1 Xyz monster attached to this card's material to the extra deck. Then you can special summon that monster using this card you control as material. It is treated as an Xyz summon. Honestly, that's kind of a downer, honestly, because truth be told, it's kind of similar to Cypher X Dragon. The only difference is that you would need to have the materials attached to this card. But the thing is that you're going to be using the second effect. You're going to be using the second effect during your turn and during your opponent's turn, so you're not going to have anything at all, unless if you activated a card like, say, Xyz Import. Then maybe it might work out, but it can only work if your opponent has an Xyz monster on the field, which is kind of meh. Next up, we have No Punk Dia Note. That is the name. I don't know if it's the proper pronunciation, but that's what I'm sticking with. It's a 5-star Earth Warrior with 2100 attack and 1800 defense, and both of its effects are once per turn. First effect reads: you can reveal one other punk monster in your hand, special summon this card, or the reveal card, and if you do, send the other to the grave. So it's either you can send this to the graveyard and summon the reveal card, or you send the reveal card to the grave and you summon this. But you're most likely going to be sending this to the graveyard for its second effect, because the second effect reads: if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target a punk monster in your grave, except a level 5 monster, special summon it, but you cannot special summon this card for the rest of the turn. It's not too bad. Not too bad. Those are pretty much all the new cards, the new Grand Creator support cards. Overall, I'm not too impressed. Honestly, I know that Grand Creators was like kind of meh, honestly, but it is what it is. Now we have a brand new Link monster that apparently is for that it's basically the substitute for heavy metal foes Electromite. If you guys remember Electromite, yeah, quite the card, wasn't it? It was quite the card. By the way, shoutouts to Starbucks for this drink. Not sponsored, just love Starbucks. Anyway, that being said, the name of the Renta Electromite, if you will, is called Beyond the Pendulum. It's a Link 2 Dark Spellcaster, Link, obviously, with 1200 attack, and its arrows are bottom left, bottom right, and it requires 2 effect monsters, including a pendulum. You can only use the second effect once per turn. First effect reads: if this card is linked summoned to the extra monster zone, you can pay 1200 life points, add a pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. After adding it to your hand until the end of the turn, you cannot activate monster effects. Also, the effects of cards in your pendulum zones are negated until you pendulum summon, which obviously you're gonna be pen summoning anyway, so there's no point in negating the effects. But the second effect seems kind of unique. If 2 monsters with different original levels are pendulum summoned at the same time to the zones this card points to, you can target 2 cards on the field and destroy them. That's pretty good. That's actually a pretty good effect. It's basically a much more different version of Electromite, but the thing is that Electromite is a little bit better than this card, in my opinion. But now we have some new Predaplant support, and I'm probably not going to be able to pronounce any of the names, so I will try to pronounce them as best as I can. So first up, we have Predaplant Triantus, which is a 8-star Dark Plant Pendulum with 2400 attack and 1000 defense, and pen skill is 8. The pendulum effect reads: you can use cards in your pendulum zone as materials to fusion summon a dark fusion monster, as if they were monsters on the field. So basically, this acts as like this basically acts as a Dark Hexseal fusion on steroids, basically. Literally, that's what it is, which is pretty nuts. The monster effect reads: if this card is used as material for a fusion summon and sent to the graveyard or added to the extra deck face up, you can place one predator counter on each on a number of monsters on the field, up to the number of monsters you currently control. And if you do, any of those monsters are level 2 or higher become level 1 as long as they have a predator counter. So that's kind of cool. It works. This actually works pretty good because you can also use them to exceed summon cards like Baby Dragon or pretty much any other rank 1 exceeds that could potentially be at your disposal, which is not too bad. The only downside, again, is that this card would need to be used as material to summon a card like, say, Starving Venom Fusion. And that's where the counters would come into play, and they all would become level 1. And you can go into a card like Baby Dragon or pretty much anything else, which is not too bad, not too shabby if I say so myself. Honestly, I have been tempted to build Predaplants, but I don't really know how. I don't really know how I could build them, honestly, but still, I mean, they seem like a pretty cool archetype. Next up, we have Predaplant Bliss. I believe that's how it's pronounced. It's a 1-star dark plant with 0 attack and 1900 defense, and both of its effects are once per turn. First effect reads, if this card is sent to the grid, you can add 1 Predaplant monster from your deck to your hand except this card. Second effect reads if there is a monster with a predator counter on the field, you can special summon this card from your grave, but banish it when it leaves the field. Wait, what? Banish it when it leaves the field? How do you bypass that? Answer? Use it as exceeds material. Again, Baby Dragon could very well come back into the format, which is actually kind of hilarious. Because let me go on Neuron on my phone, because I'm gonna look up Dragon's effect. I don't think I own a copy of Dragon. Oh wait a minute. I do own a few copies from, what was it, from Number Hunters, if I remember right. Let's see. Baby Dragon. Let's see here. Baby Dragon is a rank 1 Earth Dragon, exceeds with 900 attack and defense, and requires 3 level 1 monsters. So with this deck, it's pretty simple, to be honest. During your main phase, you can detach one exceeds material from this card, target a level 1 monster you control. It can attack your opponent directly. I mean, come on, it's not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, given the fact that you can use a fusion, or you can use Triantus to attack your opponent directly for 2400 damage, that's actually not too bad. That's not too bad of an effect. But also, too, with Bliss, it says banish it when it leaves the field. How do you bypass it? You use the monster as exceeds material, so you can actually use its effect again, no problem, which is pretty crazy. Next up, we have Predaplant Bufolocula. I probably butchered that one, but it's a 1-star dark plant pendulum with 0 attack and defense, and its pendulum scale is 0. The pendulum effect is a once per turn. During your main phase, you can fusion summon 1 dark fusion monster from your deck from your action of using monsters from your hand or field as material. So this basically is basically Trump Witch. Perform Pals have Trump Witch, which is basically their polymerization. This is basically it, which is actually kind of crazy. Pretty crazy, pretty broken in my honest opinion. The monster effect is a once per turn. If this card is used as material for a fusion summon and sent to the grave, or added to the extra deck face up, you can add 1 face of Dark Pendulum monster from your extra deck to the hand, except this card. So, basically, it's another form of Rhoda, but instead of the main, it's from the extra deck, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have Predaplant Ambulo. Meliotis, Ambulo Meliotis, I believe how it's pronounced. I believe is how it's pronounced. It's a 5-star Dark Plant fusion with 1,000 attack and 2,500 defense, and requires 2 Predaplant monsters. You can only use the first and second effects of this card's name once per turn. Let's see. So again, both of its effects are once per turn. If this card is fusion summon, you can add a Predaplant monster or a Predaplant spell or trap from your deck, grave, or face-up extra deck to your hand. So basically, it's basically like a Rhoda reincarnation of sorts, which is not too bad. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I will admit, but Ash Blossom, Ghost Ogre, Ghost Bell. Sorry, hand traps will ruin you for days. How do you bypass those? You use cards like Call By or Mind Drain. One or the other actually works. Second effect reads: you can target one opponent's monster with a predator counter or a monster you control. Tribute it, and if you do, special summon a Predaplant monster from your deck. Ooh, damn, that's actually pretty good. That's actually pretty good. I must admit, that is actually pretty crazy. But I mean, given the fact that it's only 1,000 attack, I don't know if it's worth using. Honestly, it's probably not. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't really think it's worth it. But if you guys want to use it, to each his own. To each his own. But next, and then the last of the Predaplant support, we have Starving Venom Predator Fusion Dragon, which is a 10-star Dark Dragon fusion with 3,600 attack and 2,500 defense, and requires a Dark Fusion monster and a Fusion monster. This card is always treated as a Predaplant card. The second effect is a once per turn. First effect reads: once per turn, when a card or effect is activated as a quick effect, you contribute a monster with a Predator counter from either field, and if you do, negate the activation. Basically, it's another form of like Solemn Judgment, but you don't destroy it. So I guess you could say it's kind of like Ghost Ogre, I would say. I would say it's kind of like a Ghost Ogre of sorts, which is pretty cool. Second effect reads: if this fusion summon card is sent to the grave by your opponent, you can target a dark monster in your grave, special summon it. Basically, it's Monster Reborn, which is pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty cool, I must admit. Now we have some new Weather Painter support. I never thought we would ever get Weather Painters after all this time. How many cards are there? There's only... oh, there's one new card. There's one new card, and it's known as the Weather Forecast, which is actually their field spell. I never thought they would get a field... did they get a field spell? I actually want to look that one up. I actually want to see something. I want to see if they ever got a field spell. I don't think they did. No, they never did. They never got Yeah, I thought so. They never got a field spell. So this is actually their first field spell ever. That's pretty cool. Excuse me. So the second and third effects are once per turn. First effect reads, when this card resolves, you can place one the weather spell or trap directly from your deck to your spell and trap zone face up. That's actually pretty good. Because you can actually target... which is the better one? Rainy Canvas? Yeah, you can actually, take cards like Rainy Canvas. You can take Auroral Canvas. Pretty much any of the back row and place it face up. In which I think for the weather deck, I think you do use up all the spells and traps if I remember correctly, which is pretty cool. You can also treat face up the weather cards in your spell and trap zone as the weather monsters and use them for the link summon of a weather link monster, which is awesome. During your main phase, you can immediately after this effect resolves, normal summon one the weather monster. Yeah, that's pretty broken if I do say so myself. That's pretty fucking broken. Being able to just to just double summon right off the bat, because I believe you can double summon. It did not say that it did not say in addition to your normal summon. It just says it just said normal summon. So I'm assuming that that you can trigger its effect, normal summon, and then normal summon again. I'm assuming that might be it. I'll have to check the card rulings, but we actually have some new Battle Guard support. Yeah. I never thought we would ever get any Battle Guard support. When did we get the Battle Guards? What was it like? Like started like Joey and then ended up getting the support in like, what was it, Duelist Alliance? Like somewhere around there? Like, Jesus Christ. What's it been now? 5 years? I think it's been like 5 years. About 5-6 years. Holy shit. Anyway, it is known as Battle Guard 0. Battle Guard number 0. Literally. Which is a 1-star Earth Warrior with what am I seeing? I know that you guys can't see what I'm seeing, but I'm looking at my laptop right now. The attack is fucking stupid. Who the fuck came up with the idea to give Battle Guard, this Battle Guard in particular, just a measly 50 attack? That's it. 50 attack, 100 defense. What the hell? What the fuck? That is just stupid. Oh my god, wow. Alright, well, the first and third effects. The first effect and the third effect of this card is once per turn. If this card is normal special summon, you can add 1 Feast of the Wild level 5 from your deck to your hand. Second effect reads, Battle Guard monsters you control gain 500 attack, which I believe does include this card, which is kind of funny. You contribute this card special summon a level 8 warrior from your hand. I'm not even gonna say anything else. I'm just gonna move on. That was just stupid. Like, that was really fucking stupid. Next up, we have a brand new dragon. We have a giant dragon. It is known as Divine Dragon Titanomachia. Titanomachia, I believe is how it's pronounced. And it's a 10-star light dragon with 3,000 attack and 2,000 defense. And the second and third effects are once per turn. This card, the first effect reads, this special summon card cannot be destroyed by battle. Yeah. Literally, it cannot be destroyed in battle. What is up with my chair? There we go. Sorry guys, I had to fix my chair a bit. But yeah, cannot be destroyed in battle, and with 3,000 attack, not too shabby. Second effect reads, you can banish 3 Divine Dragon Titanomachia from your grave and or among monsters from your face-up field, including this face-up card, destroy all cards your opponent controls. Wow. Basically, it's basically a main deck version of Zeus. That's actually kind of crazy. During the end phase, you can send cards from the top of your deck to the grave equal to the number of dragon monsters you control. So this is so that's kind of cool. So this would be perfect with this would be perfect with, I would say, Light Swords, because Light Swords do require milling, so this could be useful in Light Swords, which is pretty cool. There's a side note here that says this card is named after the Greek proper noun Titanomachia, better known to English speakers as the Titanomachy, the struggle of the Greek gods versus their forebears, the Titans, for dominance of the world. That's pretty good. I like that. I like that background story. Now we have the last one here. We have the Weather Painter Night Rainbow, I believe it was called. Yeah, the Weather Painter Night Rainbow. This is the last one. I was able to get to all of it. There was one other thing that I wanted to talk about, but I'm going to talk about that in next week's Yu-Gi-Oh news video. So make sure you guys stay tuned. But it is known as the Weather Painter Night Rainbow, but I believe in the TCG they're going to call it the Weather Painter Moonbow, which is not right. It is not right. It is a Link 3 Dark Fairy. Link, obviously, with 2400 attack, and its arrows are bottom left, bottom right, and requires 3 the weather monsters. It actually has 3 effects. First effect reads, if this card is Link summoned, you can special summon one of your banished the weather monsters. So it's kind of like a different dimension reincarnation, but you're not equipping that card. You're not equipping this card to that summon monster, which is actually pretty busted, in my opinion. Second effect reads the weather effect monsters this card points to gain the following effect. As a quick effect, you can banish this card, target a monster your opponent controls, banish it until the standby phase of the next turn. So it's not too bad. It's kind of like a Ciphering Lord Omega, but a little bit different in my opinion. Honestly, I would just use Omega because Omega is better, and the reason why I say that Omega is better than this card is because of the fact that both the card that you targeted and Omega not only go back to your field. Not only does Omega go back to the field, but the card in question goes back to your opponent's hand, which is kind of okay, but still, I think Omega is just a little bit better in my personal opinion. And then the third effect reads: if this Link summon card is destroyed, you can special summon one the Weather Painter Rainbow from your extra deck. So that's kind of okay. But all in all, it's the cards are not too. The new cards, they're not too bad. Honestly, I think the Titanomachia is kind of funny. Is kind of a cool one, just because of the fact that you can just Zeus your opponent's board right off the bat. That's pretty cool. But Battle Guard number 0, again, 50 attack. What the fuck? I don't know, but that will do it for today's video. I was actually able to get through all of them. I don't know how the fuck I did that, but I did that. So that brings us to the question of the day. What deck are you guys going to be playing once Dimension Force comes out in the TCG? Let me know in the comments below. And that is going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button if you guys are new to the channel. And you guys want to see more Yu-Gi-Oh! News videos, which get posted every Tuesday, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss out on any new content that comes your way. And be sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram. All the links will be down in the description below. And if you guys have any fan mail that you want to send me and want me to open up on the channel, my address will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.